So he like he literally knew almost nothing about philosophy, whether that was the institution taught him poor or he didn't listen very well. I think Danny said he didn't even listen very well. Didn't even really give it. He wasn't interested in philosophy the way he is now. And so what had happened is he came in and Danny didn't know shit about philosophy. He had an undergraduate in philosophy. And he came in, talked to Jack, and Jack basically, he was like a Christian, and he had some weird views, and he was defending divine command theory. There's still videos of this online. And Jack basically, over the course of 3 or 4 months, it was the most tragic thing ever. I won't go into great detail, but just say he stripped him of all of his beliefs. Yeah, and most of them were of the moral variety. And in fact, I will say this because it's so profound. I'm gonna say it. Danny was a guy that was a repressed homosexual. And I don't mean any of this derogatorily. He was a repressed homosexual, which means he had never done anything gay or homosexual as an actor or anything, but he had inclinations towards that. And what had happened
Jack did him service. Jack helped him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like depending on how you look at it, he helped him, or depending on how you look at it.
You did that on just.
I'm cool. I have a different view on that. I'm okay with you having that view, but I don't feel that way. But I'm just however you do feel about that way, just know that he basically stripped Danny of all his beliefs and all of his moral underpinnings, and within a year and a half, Danny was being pimped out as a male prostitute by a roommate that Jack introduced him to. So
he was being pimped out as a prostitute. What?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. A lot of you guys don't know this stuff, man, and I probably shouldn't say it, but I've come this far. Yeah. So there's this guy named Vic or whatever. You probably know him. He's a friend of Jack's. Jack introduced him.
One sec. Can I just ask everyone? Does anyone else sense that Shamos is unaware of how verbose he is? And I don't mean that I don't mean that to insult you. I'm just wondering because it's peculiar. Are you wanting to have a discussion, or are you wanting? Do you have something you have to get off your chest? I mean, you just keep going on and on and on and on, dude, and you're unaware of it. It's mortifying.
So Danny's making money from selling sex.
This is normal, Daniel. Well, this is standard.
Put it this way, I do understand how much monologuing I do when it comes to these. When it comes to meta and personal group drama shit, dude, I could sit here and almost talk to myself because I've been in what I'm saying is I've been around for a long time, and all the social dynamics and all the crazy shit I've seen in this community. For those of you that aren't around, I think it's best if that guy's asking questions, it's probably best you just listen because it's some crazy ass shit. But I agree. I probably should be a lot more concise. Let's just put it this way: Jack introduced Danny to Vic. Vic then, after Danny's morals were stripped away, moved in with Danny. Then Vic decided a good way to get money is to go on Craigslist and offer Danny as a male prostitute, to which a few men replied, came over, Danny did the sex acts, and they paid Vic for it. And Danny was okay with it. And that's what I'm telling you. At first we came in a nice little Christian boy who had homosexual leanings and had beliefs in God and morality, and within less than a year, all of his beliefs, all of his moral superstructure were stripped away, and he was literally being pimped out as a male prostitute by a guy that Jack Angstrike introduced him to. And so, it's great.
That's what
I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a great thing. Like the guy was saying, it's a fucking great thing. He did him a favor. It's a great thing.
Besides that part, I think Danny's probably living a much more fulfilled, happier life.
Bro, there's a lot you don't know, buddy.
I guess.
It's darker than you think. Just put it this way, it's darker than you think.
Danny and Vic had a falling out, and nobody knows exactly what it was about, but Vic moved out.
Bro, it's just darker than you think. I don't want to say anything than that.
Did you know Vic lives with Mary Jane now with Procrustes, and she's pregnant?
And while they're married.
Yeah, it's wild.
Ew, crust.
Oh, I didn't know they got married.
Gross.
But I think what Ariana's.
I heard all about that. It's going to be the most beautiful train wreck in like a year and a half, 2 years time. It's going to be a magnet.
I think the reason Ariana's came in here this morning is he was in his own room ranting about you, and like some people for a long time, and like people were talking to him, but then some people left and the other ones fell silent. I kept going back and forth between the two rooms. This is just me speculating, but some left and others fell silent, so he realized he was just talking to himself. So he's like, you know what, fuck this guy, I'm going in there. So that's when he came in here.
That's funny. Yeah, I heard all about the Vic and Mary Jane shit and everything like that. I think it's fun. Mary Jane was always like, I hate people, I'm never gonna have kids and all this stuff, and like she just totally like the girl she doesn't stand for anything, and I just feel sorry for her. I'm just here for the drama. Like in a year and a half or whatever, when it pops off, I just want to be ready to just bask in it. But anyways, I won't go any further in the dark dredges of the 10 years of the sickness and bullshit that this community's done. But I'll just say this: it's not comical and funny and lighthearted. It's way darker than you guys fucking think. And people's lives have been fucking literally destroyed, and bad shit has happened to them.
Yeah, maybe
so,
if
like,
you want to
I mean,
talk more about that, Danny should be here, and he should like set the story straight. Maybe it's not right to be talking about it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean, everything that Jack and Craig touches turns to shit. Everything he does. He's like literally. Who's that guy from Breaking Bad? What's that guy's name? That's who Jack Angstreich is. Everything he touches just fucking dies and turns to shit.
Did he touch you?
Yeah. Jack Angstreich has had a profound impact on my life. It's crazy.
Do you think that you've turned to shit?
I think most of the people that Jack has affected their lives have been affected negatively, including myself.
Okay.
I mean, I can't really say much. Like, what I'm about to say, I think is, like, fairly neutral. But, like, if you're in conversations with Jack, it's pretty clear, like, he pulls a lot of strings. And, I mean, most of the time it's, like, funny or whatever, where Jack says something like, oh, do you remember the time that da-da-da-da-da? Or, you know, what's this about that you were saying about this person or whatever? And like something ensues from that, but I'm not sure like other people really see that.
He's just a guy.
I don't know. I kind of feel sorry.
You're the only one that goes against like dissents from them, but I go against them I just tell them their views are bullshit.
Yeah, I don't really consider you to be like one of the people who's historically tried to like rationally resist the Angstreich crowd. I don't put you there. I put me at probably the top of the list of people that have attempted to rationally go against these guys for years and not convert to their views.
Are you number one, number two, number three?
I think that other people who are somewhat down that line are like JHC didn't drink a lot of the Kool-Aid. Like he remained on good terms with Jack and stuff, but JHC just like he never converted off the naturalist stuff. He never, he didn't jump ship like a lot of these other guys that were weak-minded and weak-willed kind of did and stuff. So and then Detroiter to a lesser degree, I think, than JHC, but there's been a few others, but there's not been many. Like most of them, I mean, think about it. It's like an institution almost. You come into like this debate world, and it's an interesting hierarchy. Let me explain something to you about how interesting this hierarchy is.
I don't want to be explained, but somebody else can.
Josh managed to hook up with Godless in this hierarchy. Vic managed to hook up with Mary Jane in this hierarchy. Let me explain to you something. It's a weird world where the people at the top of the hierarchy are like these like nerdy beta pseudo-intellectuals, right? Like only
They're
in this
cool
type
nerds,
of
though.
no, but what I'm saying is only in this type of setting could a guy like Vic get a guy like Mary Jane, or only in this type of setting? And so could Josh have gotten a girl like you? And what I'm saying is you have to create a dominance hierarchy of intellectualism. You have to be at the top of the hierarchy. You have to have enough people invested so that they think it's meaningful. What I'm saying is the whole social dynamic is really weird in this group. It's unnatural. It's fucking really strange.
Is Mary Jane like an astronaut or like a world-renowned?
No, she's like a super
She's
10.
like a 9. She's
like
hot.
She's like a 9, but she's like a true 9. She's like a true 9, if you know what that is. She's basically unicorns. Unicorns are 10s or unicorns. Mary Jane is a 9.
Haven't you
Mary
seen
Jane's a 9.
attractive women with ugly guys in their dealings in life? I mean, is that really that out of the ordinary? I see it all the time.
Yeah, and then the beta males in this community are like, you'll have Zaxium, or that guy on here with the picture with all the muscles, Mike. You know, they're like at the bottom. They're like the most physically fit, muscular guys, but they're at the bottom of the hierarchy. They're at the bottom of the pecking order.
To the guy's question, yeah, I've seen an ugly guy with a beautiful girl, but in real life, 98% of the time, that's explained in terms of money. Now, the other percentage of the time, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I would say emotional issues. People are like have a dependent kind of personality, but definitely money too. I'm just saying it's just not that out of the ordinary. I don't get it.
No, what I'm saying is it's very out of the ordinary. It's very out of the ordinary for a girl like Mary Jane to date and be pregnant with a guy like Vic. Very out of the ordinary. And all I mean is just that, generally speaking, that doesn't happen very often. That's like the vast minority of the cases that a guy like him gets a girl like that.
So is Vic like
what I'm saying
Manson
is,
or something?
Huh?
Is Vic like Charlie Manson or something?
No, what I'm saying is it's so much simpler than that. Like I said, you just create a dominance hierarchy, right? And then you're high up of intellectualism, debaters online, whatever, and then you're high up in that hierarchy, and then you have enough people. If only 10 people were invested in it, no, she wouldn't care. If only 10 people thought that Vic was a smart guy, and that's all that people were, and that's the only people they taught, she wouldn't care. She would have never been attracted to Vic. She wouldn't have gave a fuck. But if 2 or 3, 4 or 500 people are invested in a community that's constantly talking, constantly online all day, blah blah blah, and she spent a significant amount of her time here, right? Yeah, that's where it becomes the issue. What I'm saying is it's extremely unnatural. It's extremely unnatural that you've got like a dominance hierarchy of intellectuals that like somehow all these girls are like interested in being with them and shit. And so I'm just saying, like, think about what Jack Angstrike does. Like, I mean, really, honestly, I feel a bit sorry for him. You know, I mean, he's doing the best he can with what he's got. I know for a fact if he was all, you know, he'd like to be doing other things. He just can't, you know? He'd certainly rather be macking it with some hot chick on a beach that really liked him for him than reading philosophy. He just can't do those things. So what you're left with is a guy that literally his life is summed up by being dejected from women his entire life and going around, and the only meaning he derives is creating an online argument hierarchy and ascending to the top of it by basically converting a bunch of acolytes and running around and mobilizing
philosophy.
Another thing that's unnatural about the community is it's 85% male, like 15% female.
I feel like that's a lot of communities, though.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, like, what you're describing is something...
That's online, period.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jeff. I already know what you're going to say, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I have to say. I mean, we see it all the time. We see this, like, social hierarchies and all kinds of things. Maybe there's bowling clubs where fucking the hot girl likes the ugly dude that can get
Yeah, but seeing them all the time isn't to say that per capita they're common. They're not. They're extremely uncommon.
It depends what you mean by that. I see it all the time. It's not that uncommon. I mean, it's not as likely as...
No, I'm just saying, take all the hot girls, and then we look at all the guys that they're dating. And just say, what portion of them are dating beta tier?
Of course.
Yeah, and that's all I'm saying.
Beta tier.
You think there's something above and beyond just the way that people naturally just interact and relate with each other. I don't think this is any different than any other type of situation. It's just weirder because it's on the internet, which is just, like, goes without saying.
Cool, women are attracted to, like, status.
All I'm saying is if you didn't create in this type of community with 400 or 500 individuals structured in a way that the dominance hierarchy was centered around like philosophical intellect and debate skills, then and had enough people invested where like it was genuinely something to be at the top of this hierarchy, then none of these girls would have ever give these guys any of the time of day.
Very cool.
And I'm just saying you could take any type of scenario like this where take like Pete Davidson or whatever, that guy with Kim Kardashian or whatever. Like that guy, most girls wouldn't give him the time of day. You know what I'm saying? But if he's popular enough or whatever, if there's some type of social dynamic or hierarchy that he's at the top of, enough people know him, enough people are interested in him, that's enough. You know, and that's enough for them to like in any other situation they would have looked for a mate that was, you know, all other things being equal, were not afforded that opportunity. They would have tried to find a good guy, good looks, you know, these type of qualities that they like, or blah, blah, blah. But they're throwing all that away just for a guy that's popular, relevant to some hierarchy.
Okay.
Yeah, and so what do you think's going to happen with Vic and Homegirl? When the shit, you know,
Maybe
when
they'll grow to like each other. Maybe they have a lot in common. I don't know.
Yeah. That's the minority of what's probably going to happen, like statistically.
I don't know. I think we should look at their individual case, probably. Like, you know both of them.
I'd say this, like, okay, so we've already established that she's only interested in Vic because of the hierarchy, stuff like that. This community didn't exist.
I don't know if we established that.
She'd never give him the time of day. So wait till this evaporates. Wait till they get 5 or 6 years down the road, and him no longer be at the top of some debating hierarchy online ran by some, you know, false Jewish messiah named Jack Inkst, right?
Jesus
and then
Christ.
See how much she likes him after that.
Dude, he got, like, brain worms. Jesus Christ. Like, I mean, there's other possible explanations for why Mary Jane likes Vic besides him just being at the top of some social hierarchy.
Do you think that I denied that there was any? Do you think that I denied that there was? Did you say, there isn't any other possible?
Yeah, but Seamus, you were saying that like shit's gonna hit the fan when like all this other stuff evaporates and all this blah 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 blah. Like, come on, dude, stop. You don't know the dynamic of their relationship at all.
So you took that as me saying there's no logically possible other explanation for why people like
Come on,
That's
dude.
what you took me into.
Do you really think that's what I was trying to say? Do you really think that was what I was trying to say?
I don't know what you're fucking trying to say. Most of the time you're just trolling and saying wrong shit. What were you trying to say?
Do you really think I was saying there's no other logically possible explanation for why they like each other? Do you genuinely think that's what I was trying to say, Seamus?
I mean, wasn't the like most likely explanation be that they happen to be
each
in an
other
area where they spent a lot of time,
Yeah.
and the more time you spend with someone, the more likely you are gonna like them?
No,
Pretty much.
No, Mary Jane's a black belt groupie, just like me.
I don't know if that's entirely
I
true.
could see that true of you, Godless. I don't know about.
Yeah, I mean, I think a likely explanation is just that she's known Vic for a very, very long time online, and she gets into a position where she gets to know him a lot better in real life, and then, I don't know, one thing leads to another, I guess.
Yeah, that's not even close to what explains it.
Well, let
Why?
me ask you this.
Well, do you think that if they would have met each other absent of this community, which Vic holds a place high up in the hierarchy, right? If he would have just met her on, like, America Online or some chat room, and then he just started chatting with her, that she would have been as enthralled with him as she was with a guy that's at the top of a dominance hierarchy. Hold on. What I'm saying is it's just so obvious that she's going to be
framing this wrong. So the right way to frame it is, suppose that she met Vic in, like, maybe the same kind of community, and he didn't have the status. She knew Vic for, like, 4 years, maybe more, maybe less, before even meeting him in real life. Like, comparing it to the scenario where she meets him on some dating app and he hits her up, like, obviously it's not going to have the same effect, but you're missing a lot of other things. She's known Vic for, like, ages.
Yeah, but all I'm trying to say is that her knowing a guy, I've known her longer than she's known Vic. She's known a lot of people, whatever. All I'm trying to say is that, in my estimation, if Vic did not maintain a place at the top of the dominance hierarchy, she wouldn't have been that interested in him from the start.
Well, maybe she would have been a little less interested, and I think it's reasonable to assume that people
a fucking lot less interested in him. Like fucking
I don't know about
completely
that. No.
disinterested. Yes, completely disinterested in him.
Why?
Am I
Vic,
like,
there's
this out now or what?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I got some latency in my. I can't really hear very well. Sorry, I'm not trying to be.
I don't know why you think it's like such like the main factor.
Come on, man. The guy just was trying to get in there, and you started talking to me.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, Albedo. Yeah, go ahead.
It's all right.
You're good, bro.
It's just like, okay, so if what Shamos is saying is true, I guess the idea would be, because I would imagine she was being hit on by guys who probably were like higher status. And
Yeah, like
what
Zach
explains why she. Well, I mean, not even like on the internet. Like maybe when she went to the store, like somebody with like a nice car drove up to her and said like, "Hey, what's going on?" Like, I wonder like what would explain why she wouldn't go for something like that then.
If status is all that matters, is like the main driving force for Mary Jane, why isn't she going for all these other people with higher status? Right. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Mary Jane there was something wrong with her, because even though she was really hot and seemed seemingly normal, she like never left her house. She was always on the internet 24/7.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm kind of getting at here. It's not that she's just seeking. It's not like, for example, it's not necessarily that I would just immediately like forsake everything from somebody that was like extremely high status in a community that I didn't think was relevant or that I didn't care about. One of the key things is she has to have think something relevant or about that community. And what I'm saying is, like if somebody comes up to me and she's like the greatest chess player of all time or something, or the greatest,
that's hot, yeah.
Bullshit, whatever fucking sport thing. I might not really be that impressed with it or whatever. But if it's
really?
if I really liked chess or something, or I played chess in the past to some degree, like I'd be more enthralled with it. What I'm saying is, this girl, yeah, she was a bit reclusive, whatever. She spent a lot of time online, and I don't know what explains that underlying thing, because she used to come out here and she's just kind of hanging out, and it seemed like she just was looking for a place to stay and some people to talk to and shit. And so what I'm saying is that Lambo and asking her out, she's already invested in that community. She might not give a shit about guys in Lambos, but she certainly.
That's true. Maybe she cares about the status in those cases more, but still, I think it's perfectly reasonable that she knew this dude for like what, 4+ years, give or take. She happened to spend a large portion of time with him, like in real life, living with him. Like, I think that those factors can largely influence whether or not you like come to like that person, and are probably going to be the main driving factors.
In the way that Justin got his dick in young and poor naive Fia, it's funny is that the only reason he got to fuck her is because he tricked her into thinking he was a black belt. And then you have another.
No. I think Justin could have banged Fia without that hierarchy, because Justin had other aspects of him where he's like kind of trendy, New Yorker, has good money, kind of good looking. Like, he had other things that would like she would have totally keyed into. Like, Justin had that no matter what.
Jack just popped in and said, "Fuck this shit," and left. But then there's another horn of the community where you have people that are high up but aren't black belts, like you and Justin and Krill, but have a lot of social power, Like right under the black belts in terms of reasoning and philosophy, but then you have almost more social power than they do.
I don't know about that. I kind of get what you're saying, what you're trying to drive at, but yeah. Guys, let me ask you a question. Do you think that, just try to answer the best way that you can, do you think that absent this community where Josh was like at the top of like an intellectual dominance hierarchy, that you would have given him a chance? Like, if it wasn't like that setting, do you get what I'm asking you?
Probably not. I don't know. No.
So, like, on your view, like, the fact that there was this kind of community and a dominance hierarchy and there were enough people interested and stuff like that, and he maintained a place high enough, that you're saying that, in your opinion, was relevantly significant to you getting with him?
Well, it's what made me take a second look in the first place. Like, if it wasn't for that, I would have just, like, taken a look and walked off without getting to know him, you know?
Yeah, but, like, think about if you weren't interested in debating and philosophy and stuff like that. Even if you got to know him, it wouldn't have helped him one bit, right? It was only that you loved debating, and you loved owning people, and you loved, like, intellectually jousting with people that made him super appealing to you, because he's really good at that.
I like how Seamus is debating Godless about this.
Well, I'm just saying.
I don't know. There's a lot of shit I love about Josh.
I thought Seamus was a black
I think there's a lot to love about Josh.
He's like not a black belt.
No, ever since Seamus invested in Bitcoin, his IQ dropped like 50 points.
Shamos is a brown belt right under the black belts.
I don't know if this is true, but somebody told me that the whole category brown belt was made because of me. That the only reason it was made was because I existed.
I
Is that even
guarantee
true?
that's not
I don't know.
true.
Godless,
Is that
Godless, do you think I'm in the same level as Seamus?
Godless? Do you remember that the same way that I do? Really quickly, that they made brown belt.
You were the first brown belt to come around because there was really a gap between black belts and the next people down. But then you came along and you were right in between. But since then, like Arianis and Rhodey are brown belts, I think. But by the way, Arianis refers to, he thinks he's a black belt, and I've just been letting him pretend that he is, or like think that he is. I've never called him out on it, but he refers to himself as a black belt.
Jeez, all so awful.
Now, what happened with the black belt? A lot of you guys don't know this, but the whole reason they used the black belt thing is because in G+, when Darth Dawkins would try to beat up on these people, there was a guy named Floyd FP that basically accused Darth Dawkins and said, look, dude, all you ever try to do is come in here and beat up on white belts. And all he was just saying was, all you want to do is come in here and beat up on people that know less than you. And so immediately, once Jack Angstrike and his crew heard that, they just adopted themselves as the black belts, right?
Okay.
And that's where it came. Now, when brown belts was invented specifically because I existed within that community, and they needed a way to refer to me within that hierarchy.
Okay.
So the term brown belt never even got turned around until it was used specifically to refer to me.
Okay.
I'm just telling you the truth, son.
That's very cool. Thank you.
Yeah, it's cool.
You are a trailblazer, dude.
One thing though is I've been around for a long time, and
Okay.
you'll pretend to know a lot about the community. You'll pretend to like be part of us or whatever, but you never will be, and you won't know. You'll never know anything about this shit.
Like a Mean Girls quote.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think Jack Angstrike has been doing for the last 10 years of his life? He's been making a Mean Girls club.
Nah. He's mostly just a dude.
Yeah, with his cock in your mouth.
I don't think so, no.
He's mainly just a dude with his cock in your mouth. Don't worry, Danny, and I've seen it happen before. You're not the first, and you won't be the last.
Do you think that I'm like an underling or something?
Yeah, we call them acolytes. Yeah, you're an acolyte.
You think I'm an acolyte?
Dennis, do not
That's hilarious.
be dismissive of what we know of you. We know exactly what you are.
Actually, a shitty acolyte too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
ground floor philosophy, like undergraduate level, like introductory paragraph of Stanford SEP
Yeah.
article.
Yeah,
Like that stuff, like cringe shit.
yeah.
Like I forgot more philosophy in the last 6 years than you've ever known in your whole life.
That's great.
Ever.
That's great, Seamus.
It is. And
Excellent.
look, where are you right now? In my community. Where are you right now? You're in my community, right?
Am
Talking
I?
about my
Is this your?
Well, I'm just saying, yeah, like it's not the people that can constitute the core nucleus of this group of people that you're peeving on are all people I've known. All people that I've known.
You're actually ill.
No, I'm not ill at all. I'm just telling you the straight up truth.
Okay.
Wait, did you say she was mentally ill?
I think Seamus is mentally ill, yeah.
Well, that's pretty obvious, but
Oh, yeah,
I
okay.
don't know if you should
Continue.
say that to him.
Sorry?
I don't know if it's appropriate to just...
What's funny is I actually embrace.
Okay, maybe that could be true.
I actually embrace when people say like I'm crazy or mentally ill, because what actually happens is there's an interesting like byproduct that happens with that. That a crazy kind of mentally ill person comes on here and dominates a lot of you guys in debate.
Yeah.
That's difficult to swallow sometimes, like, because people, like, I don't know if people generally think I'm crazy or they're trying to denigrate me, but like when I come in here and I exhibit knowledge far and above what they know, and then I reason on a higher capability than they can, and then they just call me crazy. What does it say of them?
It's a great point, Seamus.
I mean, I'll have a conversation with you guys about anything in philosophy. I can explain to you complex arguments and go through rule-following argument.
It doesn't have anything to do with like your knowledge.
It has to do with your reasoning ability.
No. It doesn't have anything to do with knowledge or reasoning. You seem like a very intelligent person, but you just seem very unaware of perhaps how others perceive you. I mean, you just go on and on. It's like it's almost as if you're speaking to yourself. Right?
Yeah, but I do that because I'm more interesting than you guys.
But Seamus has a lot of insight that other people don't have about the dynamic.
Yeah, and I'm more charismatic and more interesting than 95% of people on here. So I should be talking more than you boring motherfuckers. Like, seriously.
All right, just like ping stuff off people, like so you get an idea of like if you're being just like obnoxious, or people are not going to want to be around you if that's the case. And I'm presuming that you want people to be around you, right?
What's the talking? I had to refresh to see this. Please, Ringo.
It's Ringo.
Ringo, stop. But
Ringo's a nice guy,
Seamus
though.
has a lot of insight that other people don't have about the dynamics between people. That he realizes a lot of stuff that other people don't pick up on.
No, he doesn't. Hold on, Shay.
Oh, sorry, what?
You with me here?
Sorry, I heard you say Shay.
Yeah. So I'm presuming that you want other people to be around you, right? And appreciate you and have discussions with you and things like that, right? Is that a goal of yours?
Yeah, one of them.
All right. It would help if you would shut the fuck up for like maybe every 5 minutes, and sort of get feedback from people that you're speaking to.
About what? I was doing story time about the drama in the community. This wasn't the time to. I was back and forthing all morning in philosophical discussions, all morning, having great back and forth. Why the fuck do you think I need to take a 5-minute breather when I'm just telling y'all about Danny becoming converted to a gay prostitute by Jack Angstrike? I don't need your fucking input.
Because you're, like, socially unaware. You're, like, very socially unaware.
Just sit the fuck down and listen, dude. You're fucking boring.
No, I'm not saying it because I'm not trying to be a dick to you. I'm just saying that a lot of people aren't aware of these things, and people feel like it's cringe to, like, bring it up to people because it's a mortifying thing. It's
No. I'm aware of it. I'm aware that I'm going into straight up.
Just let me finish. I'll be brief, I swear. Like, you're going to get a lot of people that aren't going to want to say things to you like, hey, Seamus, you know what? You kind of, like, ramble on and on and on and on and on. It's just not something people want to say. It's uncomfortable. But you do. This is what you've been doing for, like, the past 30 minutes or 40 minutes that I've been in here. It's just you keep going on and on with these fucking boring stories. You're not touching base with anybody to find out how they're responding to what you're saying. It's as though you're giving some kind of soliloquy, and it makes it seem like you're mentally fucking ill.
No, that's exactly what I was doing. Like I was just monologuing. It was story time. I was monologuing. I wasn't looking for any of your input, and I don't typically do this unless I'm talking about drama and the community dynamics. If you rewind back an hour and a half.
Why do you want to monologue when other people are in
if
there?
people like this dude, like you're not doing him any favors.
People love me. People
I'm
love
being
me.
honest with it.
Daniel, you should ask him some questions. Like you would interview me after watching the videos. Shamos made me unlist all his videos, so you didn't get to see him. But
No, I didn't. I just wanted the ones with my picture taken out of it. Godless, if you just didn't make a thumbnail with people's personal pictures, you'd been fucking fine.
You can just change the thumbnails, I'm pretty sure, right? Or I don't know. I think you can, right? On YouTube. You don't have to unlist the videos.
yeah, it doesn't matter. But
Yo, was my critique, like totally off? I'll accept.
I think it was pretty
No,
spot.
it was dead on.
Oh.
It was fucking dead on.
Honestly, like, was that? Where am I going wrong? What am I not picking up on? Because I've just met Shamo.
Well, you're
That's
fucking
pretty
right
much
about
it.
everything he said.
But then you still don't self-correct, which makes me think that you are insane.
Why would I self-correct on Storytime Hour? I told you guys. If you rewind back 2 hours ago, I had a back and forth all morning with Sasha. All morning. And it was a polite back and forth, and we went fucking all morning together. God, let's listen to it. And I didn't just monologue and give soliloquies all fucking morning.
Okay, very cool.
Okay?
You do it now.
What I'm saying is, there are certain things where I'm not interested in dialoguing with you guys about. I'm just interested in telling you guys the fucking facts in the history of the community.
Nobody wants to listen.
Yeah, but that's you speaking for everybody, because as it stands, I'm a 10-year member of this community with tenure, and everybody fucking loves my shit, and I've got charisma, and I'm hilarious, and you're just a dorky fucking beta tier motherfucker that's trying to suck Jack Angstrike dick and be his little acolyte. So yeah, I've got tenure here.
I've been here for 10 years, please, you know.
Well, they didn't run me out yet, and everybody still loves my shit. What are you talking about? I got videos. I got 2,000 hours of videos online of me debating motherfuckers. 2,000 hours. You know what that is?
You have.
It's going to a 9-to-5 job for fucking a whole year.
What did you get out of it?
I got 2. Yeah, I know more philosophy. I forgot more philosophy than you'll ever know. Yeah, what I got out of it is forgetting more philosophy than you will ever know.
Quite the achievement, Shamos. I'm very proud of you.
It is. It is.
Does it make you feel good? Probably doesn't.
No, what makes me feel good is when guys like you.
Is you wasting your time with people on the internet?
No. What makes me feel good is when guys like you send me a picture of you in real life, and then I send you a picture of me in real life. Or then when guys would like you get on cam with me.
What?
Did you know that of all the people I've ever gotten on cam with, only one of them was not like a nerdy, reclusive, beta tier, women were repulsed by. Do you know the only one was like Detroyer?
I don't like.
And every other one was like a little beta cuck loser, freaking everything else. Like, I'm a real man, son. I don't even give a fuck.
I mean, I don't like to toot my own horn. I don't think I'm bad looking. Do you think that Rhodey is that kind of person that you think would be like a beta cuck or something?
Rhodey's a good.
Because Rhodey's also very good looking.
Yeah, he's the exception.
I'm a very
good boy.
I don't know what Obito looks like though.
I'll put
I just see him.
You know what Jack Angstrikes looks like, right? You know what Danny looks like, right? You know what Josh looks like, right? You know what Hal looks like, right?
I don't know what Hal looks like actually.
Okay, well,
I've seen him with the girl filter.
Yeah, he has videos online. You should check him out.
Very cool, but yeah, I don't think I look.
You know what Vic looks like, right?
I actually don't. Apparently, people say that he's good looking though. Oh my god, what the fuck is this truck doing? Jesus. This truck just keeps hitting the curb over and over. I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, but are you done? I'll take that as a yes.
There you go, Mark 2.
Oh, I got more stories, but I'll wait and tell you all those later. I've got years of stories to tell you guys.
Do you think that's a life well spent?
That's a question for Angstrike. I think
that's a question for you. I just asked you.
Jack Angstrike's life has been well spent because like I said, he'd rather be nailing some hot chick on the beach somewhere that actually enjoyed his company.
Why are we talking
and
about
not-
Jack? I'm talking about you.
What? I'm just saying. I'm trying to.
I'm asking
I'm
you,
trying
though.
to say. I'm trying to say through by way of analogy. Trying to answer it by way of analogy.
Oh, I see.
In all fairness, I'll probably be in the minority here, but I find those stories to be probably morally reprehensible, but still like very interesting.
In some cases,
Like,
yeah, but
Well, no,
Sure, I
like
agree
it
with
was
that.
interesting. Like the analysis was interesting also in regards to the power dynamic. Whether or not it's correct or incorrect, I'm like tend to say it is correct, but it's not that unusual.
sure, that's fair. That's fair. If you're in the minority, then that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
But,
recognize that I'm in the minority. Most people said
Yeah.
we prefer you not to talk so much, but I actually was very enjoying the stories.
Okay.
Although I did hear all of the stories that Seamus said to me right now.
Yeah, I've already heard
Because
them like
it's not,
5 times.
it's not like the first time that Seamus say them, but not everyone like heard it. And
Yeah, that's
probably
fair,
Seamus is like very how would I say that? Fuck.
Popular?
Why did? No, not in regards to his popularity, but like he really like wants to talk about those things. How would I say that? What's the term that I'm? Yeah, very passionate. Yeah, well, something like that. Yeah, he's very passionate
Sure.
about those stuff, and this energy is like is fine with me. Right? When someone is passionate about what he's saying, that makes like the story a little bit more interesting to you. Like you are more involved in how he speaks. Make any sense, Georgie? Macduff?
What's up?
No, does that make any sense? That like when someone is like talking passionately, you are like not bored by the story,
I think it depends.
regardless of the
I think
content.
it definitely makes it more enjoyable than less enjoyable if somebody's talking.
Yeah,
about something.
exactly. This is what I meant to say. It's more
Oh yeah,
enjoyable.
that's fair. I agree with that. But like, there's also cases where like, if somebody just rambles on and on and on, and they're really bad at telling it, but they're really passionate about it, and then I don't really like the content, or most people don't care about the content, then I think it's a waste of time.
Yeah, it might be. One thing that he might say is like, would you want to say something or ask something or that kind of a thing? But it didn't seem to me like Seamus like talked about those stuff to have a dialogue rather than just storytelling stuff.
Yeah, I agree with that. Anyways, yeah, really quick, Seamus, do you think your life was well spent?
Probably not.
Okay, very cool. Thank
But I think that most people, well, maybe not most people would feel that way. Yeah, maybe not.
Very cool.
I do feel that way.
Thank you, Seamus.
Wait, what do you regret?
Well, that's just, I'm just going to
You
be held
didn't
more.
do.
I'm just going to be held more accountable than a lot of you guys before God. Is why, and it's because I was given a lot of gifts. I was given a lot of
You're
gifts.
like a Christian or something, right?
Yeah, I was given a lot of gifts over and above you guys. So,
Okay.
and
It just sounds like a cope.
Like, Seamus, why are you feeling that you need to ridicule the other people here?
Phil, what?
The only way that he feels safe.
No, like, why do you feel that you need to ridicule the other people here? Like, so when the other guy said to you that it doesn't seem to me like you are conscious about how much you ramble on, and then you replied with, well, I do that because all of you motherfuckers are just boring nerds. Like, why do you think that statement? Why do you think you uttered that statement?
Why do I think what?
Why do you think you made that statement?
Why you say that?
Yeah, why do you say that?
I just opened my
No,
mouth.
but it's more than that, because the intention was to ridicule.
He's asking what your motive is.
What did you say? The intention was what?
Yeah, exactly. God. Yeah. So the intention was to ridicule the other person,
Right.
like to insult them, to say like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like, I'm more interesting than you. You are like a boring nerd and stuff like that.
Right.
I'm asking, why do you have this type of a motivation? Like, what is the motivation behind that?
What is the motivation for telling him that? Well, because like I really want
Yeah,
people
what
to
is-
understand. I really want people to understand that, you know, a lot has to do with how charismatic and how entertaining you are, not just the substance of what you have to say. And so, I don't know.
Very cool.
Okay.
Sheamus is such a cool guy.
I know, bro. For sure.
Yeah.
You're like the 10th guy with the exact same personality that's come into this community the last 10 years.
I'm glad I belong.
Mark Doof's kind, they stick around for like a year, 18 months, and then they dip, though. I don't know why.
Yeah, because I just get bored by it, I guess. It's the right way
There's
to put it.
not much to him. He's not very rememberable, put it that way.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's preferable to not. Supposing that's true, I think that's preferable. This community's weird.
Yeah, what did you think I was just saying for like the last 45 minutes that you were disagreeing with me about?
Yeah, but you're like, in this instance, you're the one that makes it weird.
Yeah, I'm not the one running a fucking Jewish cult.
Jewish cult?
Seamus, what do you think the explanation is for why our community attracts so many transgenders? We've seen more transgenders than I can even count.
You gotta chill with that. I think that's just because you're on the internet. I think that's the explanation. Like an online community. I don't know.
Yeah. It is a weird pull filter for trans people. I think it's because they don't have much social lives, and most of their social interaction comes from online, and most of them are like radical leftists, which have like deep-rooted commitments to social issues, and the best way that they can satisfy all of those desires is to come online and spout the radical shit to everybody, and then they both get their social interaction and the need to like spout off all their crazy dogma. So like it's just the right place for them.
Very cool.
But I hope this app doesn't last because I hate the platform. I wish everybody would go back to Discord.
I feel like
and
you could
merge
just
with
talk
the
to
other
some
people that are
friends.
on Discord.
Yeah, just talk to some friends and get people to move back to Discord. That's it.
No, this is way better than Discord because of the networking features. Because like, if I'm all for Discord, if Discord added the features that this thing has, where like, I like it where once I follow you, I know when you're in a room, and I know when the discussions are happening. And then it has the cool little replay feature, and it can be either on or off, and then it puts them there for you, and then it has a nice place where you can go back and look through them. And I think that feature needs to be brought to Discord. I think I'm all for.
Zach has that. He has a tracker bot that tracks all his friends and tells them what's
Okay, but yeah, I'm not part of the intelligentsia, the Jewish intelligentsia. I don't have access to those programs.
You could just make your own bot, Shamos. Why can't you?
Yeah, but that would require me taking time out of like smoking weed and playing Pokemon Go, and I don't got. There's only 24 hours in a day.
That's a very good point. I didn't think of it like that.
Don't think for 1 second that I couldn't fucking study Python for a year and a half and be able to
That was coming.
some bullshit like that. I certainly could.
It's very cool, Shamos. Makes me wonder why you're on here so much. If you can be
Bro,
doing
you
so
are
much.
like vanilla flavored yogurt.
Yeah.
You're like that bland food that they get people to eat a bunch of before they get like
Hey,
a
Shamos, I
camera.
gotta head up. Somebody else wants to talk to me. Give me 1 sec.
All right, bro. Peace out. Peace and love.
Yeah.
I'm gonna end the room because I want to be sure the replay gets saved of Shamos versus Darth Arianis.
Okay.
with you mods
The
earlier.
Holocaust
I really
happened.
regret it. Sorry, man.
Don't
you
ever
have a
mod.
mod?
That's dumb.
You didn't
I was
know.
gonna say the Holocaust happened. You can't deny it. Like, let's not equivocate on that.
It sounded like what he was gonna do is like tell a story about like the amount of ovens and the number of bodies, and then ask if we thought that happened. Like, you know